All right, we gave you a break on New Year's weekend. We figured it was a hard drinking weekend. We didn't yell and scream as much as we normally would to get you going on Saturday morning. New Year's Eve morning, that's fine. We're responsible. We try to be nice to you guys.
Not anymore!
It is now the second weekend of 2023. It is time for you to deal with your hangover cure once again. It is Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. He's the conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
Taping here on the 4th of January 2023. This will, of course, hit Saturday morning the 7th as your hangover cure. God help you if you're drinking heavy already. 1 week into the new year.
Good for you.
Yeah, you're like us. There you go. You're right where you need to be. Of course, the weekend edition, as always, starts off with music, music, music. But if you listened last week, at the end of 2022, you know that we are wrapping things up.
Yep.
In terms of music, we are doing a countdown.
Our top fives.
Last week was concerts. This week is the top 5 songs of 2022. Next week will be the big one. The top 5 albums of 2022. So without further ado,
let us begin.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I will go first.
There you go.
So I know this is one I enjoyed. You did not care for it.
Yeah, I think as opposed to last year, I think these lists are going to be vastly
We're going to be
different.
all over the frickin' place.
Last year, Dave and I last year were simpatico. A lot more than I thought we would be this year. I don't think it's going to happen.
We're not going to be anywhere close.
No.
Well, there might be a couple that we might be close
I don't know.
on.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I got some surprises for you.
Number 5, I'm going Too Much Girl for Me, Billy Gibbons and Morris Day. It was just quirky enough that it stood out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That is an awesome pick. That is an awesome, awesome pick. I did love that song. I did love that song a lot. Didn't make my cut, but I appreciate that. Yeah, one of those songs that brings us together as a society.
It does.
The white redneck and the black urban dude, the former Prince protege.
Yep. It's fun.
Very good pick. I love that one. Now, of course, my top 5 is a little more standard. And again, I told Dave this off mic. I had to do this earlier in the week for my daughter because she and I compare our notes on music. So
I still say you should have put your foot down. 10
songs, 15 albums.
Still ridiculous.
So next week it's worse because it was 15 albums.
God.
10 songs. But I'm going with something that we recently reviewed. Came out in October. Absolutely smitten with this song. Harkening back to our heyday of the 80s. And the bands that we loved, the acts that we listened to in the 80s, a nice stripped down, pared down guitar, drum riff. My 5th favorite song of 2022, Ugly Kid Joe. Dead Friends Play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just love it.
Very
the more
nice.
I listen to it, the more I love it. One of those late season entries.
There you go.
But yeah, Dead Friends Play, I just love it.
Nice. Very cool.
Yep, so that is my 5th favorite song of the year.
All right. Harkening back to the 80s a little bit. Here's another one that I think I liked more than you, but I just loved the feel of it. Billy Idol, The Cage.
Yeah, that was one that I just couldn't get into. But, yeah, I wanted to. But again, with the first EP, The Roadside, you had the one standout track Bitter
Yeah.
Taste. The Cage, that EP didn't quite catch me.
No. The song, there's just something, the beat to it, it just hooked. I got hooked on it.
So I'm telling you, kids, you're going to get 10 great songs here. I don't think there's going to be any crossover on this. And I think next week there might not be any crossover on albums. Oh, maybe one. I think there's one.
Might be
There
one,
might be one.
possibly two.
So my fourth favorite song of 2022, another curveball. I just love this song. This is one that Spotify recommended out of the blue on, I believe, the new release radar one weekend. And I just loved it. We reviewed the album because I pushed it on us. I'll admit it. I just was so enamored with the song that I pushed the album on us. We both kind of liked the album. Wasn't great, wasn't awful. But the song, the title song, was so good for me. My number 4 song is Devil's Train, Ashes and Bones.
I think it's I kind of forgot about that one.
Ashes and Bones is just one of those straight ahead rockers that I just love.
There you go. I forgot about that one.
Yep. Hopefully, I would love to see them at a small club.
Good. Yeah, they would be good in that type of venue.
Yep.
All right, going 3. Again, a throwback to our hair metal days. I am going with the title track from Skid Row.
Ah!
The Gang's All Here at number 3.
All right. No, that is a yell of enthusiasm. He did not steal that. I do not have that song on my list, but it might show up next week. So there might be there might actually be a couple albums that we agree on.
We may agree on a few albums.
Yes, I cannot argue with that. I may get a couple of
squeals here coming down the home stretch too.
That's what she said. Yeah, the Gang's All. I cannot dispute that. I loved this album. I love everything.
Very good.
This is a band that finally, as one of the songs on the album says, they are resurrected. They finally found the right guy to take over as lead vocalist.
Yeah, they found their mojo.
Yep. So I'm definitely down with this pick. The Gang's All Here is a great pick. Great pick. My third, I'm going with a tried and true favorite. The lead-off track off their 2022 album. We've seen them multiple times. This album wasn't necessarily one of their best, but again, this is a band where one of their weaker albums is still better than 99% of most of the crap out there. So, my third favorite song of 2022 is Cut the Cord from Collective Soul.
There you go.
I think it's a nice rockin' little song. I think
it is.
It brings in the negativity when Ed Rowling, their lead singer and songwriter, gets negative about relationships like Precious Declaration. Yeah. They get a little edge to the band that it's awesome.
Just that little bit extra.
So Cut the Cord from Collective Soul is my third favorite song of the year.
There you go. All right, now it's getting crunch time. We're going to see them next month.
Wow, okay. This is going to shock me.
Alter Bridge.
What?
Holiday.
Really?
I loved Holiday.
Wow.
I've listened to it
more.
Sorry,
kids, these are genuine shock for me. It
continues to grow on me as I listen to this.
Wow. Okay.
See, no. I have expanded.
This is why we do it this way, because genuinely, some of these picks are shocking me. Holiday, really?
Yes. I've been running through some of the albums I can't remember all the ones because
Right.
unfortunately I didn't maintain the records as I should have.
Right.
But of those that have stood out as some of my favorites, this is one of them.
Very cool. I love it. I love the pick. Again, fantastic. I love your list so far. We're just going completely opposite, yet similar. My number 2 song for 2022, the new Sports Frenzy house band, as opposed to our old Sports Frenzy house band back in the day was The Offspring.
Yes, the Black Moods.
Lead off track from their latest album, Into the Night. Cool title. One of the coolest titles ever. Very interesting song in that as they're younger, they're not young, but they're in their 30s.
Yeah.
But they're singing a song that would appeal to Dave and I. Youth is wasted on the young.
Yes, it is.
Standout track from their
Excellent.
album Into the Night.
No problem with that at all. Very good.
Yep, Youth is Wasted on the Young is my number 2 song of the year.
Very nice. This is one that I've been rocking out to from way back early on when it came out that we started.
Number 1.
We
got to get some fanfare here. Dave's number 1 song.
The River is Rising.
Yeah.
/4 with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. From the moment I heard this one, this is just a hard rocking, hard driving, great beat. Has everything I thoroughly love in music.
You've got a very good list. I love your list. I do. I really do. And I think some of these bands and some of these acts will appear next week.
They possibly could.
In our list of the top albums of the year. The only one, The Cage is the only one where I would be like, I don't think that would have made the cut for me. The other ones, definitely. Now, my number 1 song of 2022 will cause controversy. Because this is a song I know that while I loved it, I don't think Dave was a big fan.
It happens.
But for some reason, this song connected with me. I just loved the musical structure of it. Of course, sung by one of my favorites of all time. Backing band, incredible beyond belief. My number 1 song of 2022 is the title track from Crazy Times, from Sammy Hagar and the Circle. I just love the song. I don't know why, but
that's fine.
It just, I listen to it more than probably any other song. I'm not going by any kind of Spotify metric, but I know I listen to that song more than any other song in 2022 because for some reason it just connects with me. And I don't know why.
That's fine. It's a solid song.
Yep. But
I think we've wrapped up a good top 10.
I think this is going to be interesting to see where the album lists go next week. Because I don't think you can necessarily
you're
extrapolate.
Not going to extrapolate album from song.
Right.
Keep that in mind, kids.
Because I can tell you right now.
There could be albums that we both agree upon in our top 5, or maybe not.
And I will tell you this, on top of what Dave said, just because you have great songs on an album
doesn't mean the album was any damn good.
And vice versa.
That's right.
Just because I don't have a song in my top 5 doesn't mean an album
will not appear there.
That's called hanging Chad. That's called foreshadowing. That's called a precursor for
That's
next week.
called, we're going to keep you on your damn toes.
That's right. Very cool list.
Nicely done.
I like it. Now, we do have one new song to discuss before we wrap up segment 1. It is Nickelback's Unredeemable. No, it is not a track off their last album, which just came out about a month and a half ago.
No, this is their version of the song Will Ferrell, I guess, sings in the movie Spirited.
Which is an Apple Plus movie.
Yeah, which
featuring
none of
him
us
and-
are ever going to see.
Yeah, him and Ryan Reynolds.
Yep. I did listen to the Will Ferrell soundtrack version for context purposes after I listened to the Nickelback, trying to figure out why they might have wanted to do it.
Money?
Probably.
Money whores?
Will Ferrell is not the greatest voice. It is definitely the soundtrack, the contemplative character song. Nickelback brings a little bit more to it. But why did they go to a countryish version? The twangy little bit, I don't know.
Well, see, I listened to the straightforward version. I didn't mess around with that stuff. And to me, it reminded me of when we reviewed Get Rollin'. And we had our problems with it because a lot of the songs, it seemed like majority of the songs were that mid-tempo stuff.
Yeah.
We wanted more of the old school Long Road era.
Yeah.
Nickelback.
This again.
I like your pants around your knees.
Yeah.
No, it was the softening, the marshmallow wussy bag Nickelback.
We want.
We have stuck up for Nickelback. We have stuck up for them.
We want to be screaming from the ceiling.
Yeah.
We want to.
We want to get out of San Quentin, goddammit. Get us out of San Quentin. And that was when we thought this album
We want to burn it to the fucking ground tonight.
So after the first 2 songs on Get Rollin', we thought
maybe, and this is a continuation of the
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
Unredeemable
why?
is another mid-tempo.
Unredeemable is unredeemable. Nickelback is becoming unredeemable with this trope.
Yeah, it's again a mid-tempo generic rocker. I don't even know what I call it. It's not even a
rocker. It's just
where this is feeding the fire for the Nickelback critics that Dave and I have been fighting off for 10 years. Friends of ours.
Yeah.
That make fun of us because we like Nickelback. We've said, you don't get Nickelback.
Now I'm learning I don't get Nickelback.
Again, another hard rocking band that's starting to, dare I say, lose their balls. They're losing their balls. They're not rocking out like they should be or like they used to. So again, Unredeemable to me is like a continuation. Almost like a lost bonus track off of Get Rollin'.
That should have stayed lost.
Right.
It should have been rolled over.
I will give Unredeemable a week 2, Frenzies.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Yeah.
At most.
Yeah. That's a week 2. Yeah, again.
I flirted with 1.5.
Chad Kroger, goddammit.
Get your fucking voice back.
Get the boys rocking.
Maybe you need to get some Nugenics and get some fucking testosterone back in your systems. My God.
I was going to say, you guys need to spend a week at a strip club. Don't leave. Sleep in the back for a week.
Sleep? Who needs sleep?
Get your energy, get your vibe back. Do not make Dave and I regret the fact. Do not make Dave and I regret the fact that we have been backing you for over a decade when others have been laughing at us.
And bagging on you. Now we know why they're bagging on you. You're letting us down. Ugh.
Next week, as we mentioned, the top 5 albums of 2022. Cannot wait for this.
Will we have similar or not?
I think it's going to be a little bit more similar with the albums than with the songs. Just based on what you picked for songs, I think we're going to be a little simpatico. Little bit simpatico on the albums. Yeah. Of course, you got those songs out there like you had Billy Gibbons' Morris Day, and I've got Ashes and Bones from Devil's Train. Songs that you just liked.
Yeah. There you go.
Random plucking them out of the rock and roll stratosphere. But, of course, I see some bands in there that I think I am going to...
And some that you have in there that could potentially rear up.
Yeah. So... You kids should definitely check in next Saturday morning because, again, the albums are the most important part of music. It's not the concerts. We love concerts.
No,
we love concerts.
We do. But it's the new stuff that comes out that keeps us coming back for more.
The 10, 12, 13 songs that our bands put out. The cohesive unit that is an album. Nothing better. When it's done right, it's magic. It's music magic. On that note, we're going to move on to movies. In our next segment, unfortunately, Dave and I will have to discuss Black Adam. Now, I have a feeling I will actually be more positive about Black Adam than Dave, but
maybe
not by much.
Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, kids, stay tuned. We will be right back here on the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. She walked into my office just as I was reaching for the bottle in my bottom desk drawer. Legs till Tuesday, lips like pillows. I want to hire you, she said, to find Sports Frenzy 2.0. Doll, I said, that would be the easiest case ever. Sports Frenzy 2.0 is on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, everywhere you listen to podcasts. She nodded to herself, sat down and smiled. I grabbed 2 glasses. Life was good. And so is Sports Frenzy 2.0.
Happy New Year from a kinda gentler Sports Frenzy weekend edition. Ah, screw that crap. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
Along with the maestro Kevin Crane. I was going to say, what? Dial down the Xanax, dude.
It's January 4th as we record. This hits Saturday, January 7th, 2023. Happy freaking New Year on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Apple, Amazon, Audible, Overcast, CastBox, and Stitcher!
Don't forget to check out the Facebook page where you will be able to find a link to this podcast episode.
Along with the regular sports edition.
Yep. Although it seems redundant, if you're listening to us, you've found us somewhere, so pass it along to your friend.
Check out the sports edition. Come on. Hey, drop us a line on Facebook. Give us some recommendations here, people.
Give us some feedback. We can take it. We're not snowflakes. We can give as good as we get.
Exactly.
That's what the guy said in the Turkish bathhouse.
Wow. That went south quick.
Speaking of Turkish bathhouses, let's discuss Black Adam.
I was going to say, do you like when your dog rubs up against your leg, Timmy?
Have you ever seen a Gladiator movie? All right. Time to
Back
get somewhat serious, I guess, here with our movie segment. Our movie of the week. The big review is the big blockbuster DC superhero movie, Black Adam.
with The Rock.
Now, those of you who know the backstory of Black Adam, those comic book geeks like me out there, know that Black Adam is basically the antithesis of Captain Marvel. They are both linked by Shazam, the gods, the Council of Wisdom that gave them eternal powers. Um, it gets a little foggy after that, honestly, with a lot of this movie, which I will get to because I had issues with it. But when I tried to do research to back my criticisms up, there were multiple sources that said, well, this character or this character, their backstory is so foggy that, yeah, maybe
It could
yeah.
possibly be, but
Okay, Black Adam is basically a Middle Eastern superhero.
superhero, anti-hero.
Anti-hero's probably better. Played by, as Dave said, The Rock.
The horror of Disney.
Where this is one of those DC movies where they've got about 4 or 5 left where they are trying to basically run through these. Now that James Gunn has taken over DC, they're going to run through these movies and they're basically going to wipe the slate clean. So, in
And
that
there's a
respect,
reason they're wiping the slate clean.
yeah, I think they're basically damaging their own brand in a way, money wise. I think James
Yeah.
Gunn eventually will turn this around and will give the DC universe and the movies coming after 2023
The
more
cachet that they
credibility.
need.
Yes. Of
We've
course,
joked about it that DC can do the TV series and nail it, and they screw every movie up, where Marvel will do great with the movies but screw the TV side up.
yeah, and you can even translate that into the Disney Plus stuff because I will be the first to tell you the TV shows or the series that they do on Disney Plus are not anything that you are missing if you are not watching them. But I tried to take a positive view on Black Adam. I usually do with the comic book movies. I try my best to go into them with an open mind because I am a geek. I love the comic book stuff. But I do have those movies, that list of 5 or 6 movies that I can't stand.
The ones where they just completely dropped the ball and screwed it up so badly
And
that it's irreparably damaged.
yeah, and unfortunately, Black Adam probably will fall, if not into that group, on the very border of it.
It's clinging by its fingernails
To
to
the
the
bowl.
ledge.
To the bowl before it gets flushed.
Oh my God.
Now, the problems I had with it were, number one, and I saw this in a review. I always look at the reviews after the fact just to see if, yes, I want confirmation bias. I want to find somebody out there.
Am I right or am I completely off my rocker?
And I want to see if the criticisms out there are similar to the same that I have. This script was terrible.
Oh my God, it was pathetically
and
bad.
one person out there said they thought it was written by a 5th grader. And that's how I feel. This was a terrible, terrible script.
The script was awful. The forced humor was so stupid. It was a joke. It was a farce. It made the movie. Oh God! It made the movie pathetic.
Yeah, that was another criticism. The forced humor. Very good call on your part because a lot of people said
making the Atom Smasher be such a doofus.
that was a criticism I have, but not just of this movie, but of action movies in general, especially of the last 10 or 15 years, is that let's realize the fact that as much as you kids out there watch these movies on your phones, we don't want you in our movies. No teenagers in our superhero movies anymore
It doesn't
at all.
work unless it's Spider-Man.
Only one. The only one. I look back at all my action movies that I love from the 70s and the 80s, and guess what they all have in common? No stupid ass teenagers in the movies whatsoever. Not in Superman, not in Batman, not in Die Hard. There are no teenagers because you ruin the goddamn movie. You're not brave. You're not smart when it comes to saving the world. Sorry, you're not. Leave it to the adults. I don't need a stupid ass teenager. Oh, we're going to bond together as a community and we can fight this demon from hell. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No.
I can just see Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead sitting on a couch watching this movie going, yeah, yeah,
Easy.
right.
Yeah, what a dumbass. What's his role in this? I'd have to kick his ass.
I would rather watch Beavis and Butthead fighting Shazam, or fighting Black Adam, or fighting this stupid-ass demon being that ends up the nemesis of Black Adam at the end, and the Justice Society.
The Justice Society comes off looking like a bunch of asshats in this as well.
Here's the thing. Again, going back to the script. Number one, I was actually geeked about the Justice Society. Seeing Hawkman and Dr. Fate finally on the big screen. Two classic heroes from the DC universe. I loved seeing them. And again, like I said, I wasn't sure what they were doing with Hawkman, especially. But again, looking up, doing some research, I'm like, okay. I like Aldous Hodge as an actor, but I wasn't sure if this was a PC move or what. Just like with Cyclone. I had problems with Cyclone initially because when she checks in at Hawkman's mansion and everything turns up as she is a Red Tornado, one of my favorite heroes of all time in the DC universe. I looked it up. They figured out a way to explain it away. Even though I still don't understand, Red Tornado is an android cybernetic being. But he was the second Red Tornado, I guess.
Whatever.
And she's a predecessor. Her grandmother or something is a precursor. She's a granddaughter of
something. It's weird. I told you there was that little conversation that tried to explain how the powers were there.
Right.
And it barely made any sense for the movie.
Right.
It was just a gloss over.
Right. Now, I'm not normally a Dwayne Johnson fan. I honestly, I don't think I've ever watched one of his movies all the way through.
Really?
Maybe one of the Fast and Furious movies. I still haven't watched Hobbs and Shaw. I haven't watched Rampage or Skyscraper or...
Yeah, I haven't watched Skyscraper. I haven't watched Rampage. I sure as hell ain't gonna watch the whatever boat movie.
Oh, Jungle Cruise. Of course, the director of Black Adam, Jaume Collet-Serra, was the director of Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah, he is not a good director at all. I did not like... I know we had our disagreements a couple weeks ago about Amsterdam. But see, again, grumpy old man sees some things in Black Adam where I saw some little insidious PC things coming in.
Oh, they were
where
there.
Dr. Fate tells Black Adam, the world doesn't need a white knight. Okay, thanks a lot.
No, I didn't.
Why is it?
I didn't take it that
because
way.
the woman, the mother, who ends up being a central figure in this, says almost the same thing. When Hawkman says, basically, I'm going to keep my eye on you because you're dangerous, you kill people, you're dark, she goes, well, sometimes that's what the world needs because you heroes won't do that kind of stuff like he can. Then why do we rip on the Punisher? Basically, she's sitting there saying he's like the Punisher.
Yeah, he's going to do what needs to be done.
But because he's not a white vigilante, it's okay. Sorry, that's how I read that. And then, of course, the whole thing...
See, I took it on with earlier when she goes, oh, now the Justice Society shows up to help us? Where the hell were you when this all started? And you were nowhere to be found to help us until now when somebody's actually here to help this country.
Yeah, and that was my other point. Great segue, because it felt like it was, in ways, a veiled criticism of American imperialism, where America will show up when it benefits them, but they won't come when there are actual problems, but they're not big enough where it impacts.
It's not going to impact them directly.
Yeah. Again, that was another point in the plot where I felt
that's imperialism for any country, though.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a little bit more directed at America versus anybody else. The CGI,
validly so.
The CGI was bad. The villain was terrible at the end.
The script, the acting was awful. Come on.
And again, like I said with Dwayne Johnson, this, if there was a role that I think he was meant to play this. If you know the Black Adam from the comic books, he's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. And
people criticize his performance, saying he wasn't emotional enough, or
the character's not supposed to be emotional.
Right. I don't see
He's
a problem.
He's supposed to play it dead.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with his performance.
No.
I liked Pierce Brosnan a lot as Dr. Fate until the end, when he gave the little speech.
Oh God, the speech
when he brought Black Adam back to fight.
That was a little over the top.
Yeah, a little maudlin. So again, I have to reconcile my comic book geek tendencies with the fact that this was a badly written, badly directed movie.
It had the potential to be good, but again, DC crapped the bed.
And again, I wonder over the next year how these movies are going to do. The Flash,
they should just shelve the Flash.
The second Aquaman, the second Shazam.
Do we really need another Aquaman? Do we need Shazam?
What's the point of the second Shazam if you're not going to have the eventual head-to-head face-off with Black Adam? If that's already been shut down.
Yeah.
And you got Blue Beetle coming. I mean, these next four movies.
Shazam was a joke in and of itself.
And there are people out there that like it. There are people out there that like it. And I was like, that was one of the worst ever.
I couldn't get 15 minutes into it. It was so damn stupid.
But again, these are people who did not grow up with the 70s Shazam like you and I did.
And how can you compare Shazam from the new movie to really go up against Black Adam? Really? You want a showdown with that doofus?
And that was the best part of Black Adam, was the post-credit scene, which we now know will never come to fruition, where Henry Cavill comes back as Superman.
We need to talk.
Yeah. That was the best.
That was brilliant. That was the best part of the movie.
Yeah. Now, I completely understand, again, James Gunn, he's now in charge. He's going to do things his way, and it can't be any worse than what we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years with these DC movies.
Yeah, I don't know how you could even set up Shazam, that stupid putz
Yeah.
against Black Adam. No, no. There's no comparison to what the movies are and who the characters were portrayed as.
Right. They
A
obviously are
complete
connected.
disconnect.
They obviously are connected.
Yeah, but there's a disconnect on what the characters actually are.
And how serious they take the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we know it's already been diffused, it's not going to happen. It's just such a tease that we got that end credit scene with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman.
Which you had hopes of something great coming down the line.
And by the way, how the hell does Amanda Waller all of a sudden end up in charge of Justice Society? That's another thing that I can't figure out. How is Amanda Waller, the head of the Suicide Squad, all of a sudden in charge of the Justice Society? Now, number one, the Justice Society was supposed to exist 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
They were the precursor to the Justice League.
And it makes no freaking sense.
So when I saw the previews for Black Adam, that always confused me. Was it, okay, the Justice Society, so is this movie happening back in the 50s, in the 60s? What's going on here?
Yeah, no. It just...
I will give Black Adam a week to Frenzies. Because again...
A very weak 2 Frenzies.
I was very happy seeing Dr. Fate and Hawkman.
There was enough to keep me interested to get to that 2, but I can't recommend it.
Yeah, no recommendation here. And again, I always try to give the comic book movies, whether it's Marvel or DC, a little bit of leeway. But this is going to end up going down as one of the worst. This is right down there with Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, just Eternals was better than this.
God.
Eternals was better than this.
And I've not subjected myself to that trope.
Yep. So, all right. Movie news. Before we get on to Dave's book review of the week. Of course. Dave,
of course I've got a book.
Yeah,
come on.
He reads 75 books a minute. Come on. We have to send out thoughts and prayers to Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
The great actor, 2-time Oscar-nominated actor. Of course, superhero, Hawkeye,
Mayor
part of the
of
Avengers.
Kingstown.
Yep. Snow plowing accident. Now, eventually the information leaked out of what happened. Finally, we know that somebody in his family was stuck in the snow.
Yep, he was plowing the street with his snow removal machine and got out to help get the car unstuck, and his plow started moving. He tried to jump in to stop it. Did not go well. So by all accounts, it kind of ran him over, mangled his leg. He's got internal sternum, got run over as well. Thank God his neighbor saw it happen, was a doctor, put a tourniquet around his leg. So, yeah, he's got a long road, kids. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to keep his leg.
That I don't know. Yeah,
he's already gone a couple of orthopedic surgeries, so we got to wait and see. He had a lot of blood loss by reports.
Yeah, he posted a picture trying to give everybody some kind of hope. It was very brief.
Yeah,
he did not look good.
No, he
in
said,
the picture.
What was it? His response: "Can't talk. Really messed up right now. Thanks for thoughts and prayers."
Yeah. I was going to make a bad joke though about the cult. Snow removal machine, love removal.
God. Wow.
Sorry.
Snow removal.
He's a big cult fan. He gets
snow removal machine.
One last thing, and then Dave takes over with your book review of the week. I'm not a big fan of how they have continued with the Evil Dead series. It's not the same. You got to have Bruce Campbell. You've got to have Ash,
Ash has got to be there.
and of course what they call the fourth, which to me is just a remake of the first. But again, the second was a remake of the first in many ways.
Yes.
But the fourth did so well that they've put together a fifth. Initially was supposed to be only for streaming on Paramount Plus, I believe, or HBO Max.
Yep.
Maybe, I think HBO Max.
HBO Max.
But they have decided that they are going to put it out in theaters here coming up in a couple months. So the first poster for Evil Dead Rise was released here within the last day or so.
Yep.
And
From working with the original creator, Campbell is one of the producers.
But
I still don't have any
the problem I have
hope for it.
The problem I have with the poster, why I brought up Paramount instead of initially going with Warner Brothers. Of course, again, it was supposed to go to HBO Max. If you see the initial poster that's been released for Evil Dead Rise, you cannot tell me it does not look like it is another poster for Smile. That atrocity that I just watched recently on Paramount Plus that was in the theaters that made over $100 million. It is so blatantly.
Wow, a knockoff.
Yeah.
Somebody got cheap in advertising.
It just bothers me because I cherish that franchise so much. The first three, at least.
Oh, yeah.
With Ash, with Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi. And it just seems like they are destroying any credibility that this franchise had left. And now with this new poster.
Once again, Hollywood has nothing original and has to destroy the past.
So everybody out there, you go look. You look at the new poster for Evil Dead Rise. Feel free to send us a comment. Tell me if I'm wrong. If that does not look like it's some kind of a sequel follow-up to Smile. Because I don't see how it's not. It doesn't look like an Evil Dead poster. It looks like a Smile 2 poster.
Alrighty then. Moving along, it's time to go literary frenzy. This week,
Paperback Writer!
Harkening back to the old days on cable access, where we could almost do anything we wanted.
The days of not being politically correct.
The days of splicing in movie clips.
The days when the elder statesman wanted to quit because we were ruining his reputation.
Clutch cargo knockoffs.
I'm a 30, 40, 50-year-old man.
Good times. All right. Clive Cussler, The Sea Wolves by Jack DeBrule, the latest in the Isaac Bell series, brings our intrepid private detective from the Van Dorn agency trying to root out a German spy at the onset of World War I, as America is trying to ship goods overseas to Britain. But there's a German spy at work trying to, or actually not trying, but alerting the U-boats to which ships they need to sink. And so it's up to Isaac and his cohorts to thwart the spy and figure out how they're communicating with the U-boats. So it brings back an arch nemesis, Foss Gley from the Titanic Secret, who Bell thwarted and sent off to the French prison colony in Guyana. So he makes his return. And inevitably, with all the historical stuff that takes place, you know the Lusitania has to play a prominent role. So, good stuff. I liked it. I love the historical way. DeBrule does a nice job with the Isaac Bell series. Late Cussler did the whole Patterson thing, putting his name on stuff, but it's characters he created and had people taking over. So still well done. I will give it a 3.
Yeah, I know. We might seem like hypocrites because I agree with you about the fact that I don't, when I see all the different Cussler series, it doesn't bother me as much as it does with Patterson because number one of my favorite authors, Robert B. Parker, kind of did that. He's got the Jesse Stone books, Sonny Randall books, the Colin Hitch books, where he's, after dying, had instructions to put those books into the hands of certain authors. And I think Cussler kind of did the same thing.
Yeah, Cussler created these characters.
It's not like Patterson, where Patterson's still alive and well. And he's just tacking his name onto any and every book he can.
He sees stuff coming, and he'll tack his name to these young authors to get them out there, but he gets the cut. Cussler created these characters and then worked with the authors to get them off the ground.
Right. So, it's just to me a little bit different.
It's a little bit
I'm still not going to change my viewpoint about James Patterson. He's a whore. He's a whore! Yep. Hike your skirt up, James!
Yeah, he's on every new thing coming out. Cussler had literally a handful of series that he had gotten going.
Yeah, we talked about it a week or two ago.
There was nothing else.
The fact that Patterson is now attached to an old Michael Crichton manuscript just disgusts me. Just disgusts me beyond belief. That now, if I want to read an idea of the beginning of a novel of Michael Crichton, who I loved,
and to know who you have,
I have to put money in James Patterson's pocket for that.
Yep, there you go.
Maybe I'll have to go to my local library and just check it out.
I would highly recommend that.
Yes, I know you would. All right, kids, segment 2 of the weekend edition is done. Segment 3 coming up. The latest on Doom Patrol. I have a review of The White Lotus, Season 1.
And I'll catch you up with the BBC version of Ghosts.
Hang out with us for just a little bit longer. We'll be right back.
In a world of politically correct sports coverage, 2 individuals stand alone as the last bastion of sanity. The Maestro and the Conquistador star in Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast.
Available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and CastBox. All right, welcome back to your hangover cure. Saturday morning, January the 7th, 2023. I am the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
Yes, it is the Sports Frenzy Weekend Edition. We've talked music. We have talked movies. Now it is time for TV and streaming. We'll have some moments of silence and a couple dumbasses for you. Doom Patrol. Episode 5 of Season 4 last Thursday.
Youth Patrol.
Very fun. Very, very cool episode.
When will these morons stop getting into things that they shouldn't?
They get pulled back in time, de-aging, if you will, and we get to see the younger, immature versions. I can't believe they could get any more immature.
I think they were any more immature,
especially for Cliff.
Braces and zits and
young lust. I still think Doom Patrol Season 4 is much better than Titans Season 4 has been so far. I think this feels more like this.
This is
for Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol is moving forward, and you're getting through the story at a better pace.
Yeah, Titans seems like they told them we're going to cut it off at episode 6 and we're going to do the stupid mid-season break. So they felt like they had to stretch it out.
Yeah.
Whereas it feels like Doom Patrol, this is more of a normal, organic storytelling.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for Immortus to show up, which probably will happen
right at the end of
episode 6, because that's when they're supposed to take their mid-season break.
Hate the damn mid-season breaks. Knock it the frick off.
I still think it is a death knell for these shows. We've talked about it with Walking Dead. Now Yellowstone is doing the same goddamn thing. They just aired the mid-season finale of season 5. Now they're saying part 2 of season 5 won't be out till the summer.
That's ridiculous. You cannot have that much damn time off in between.
You take arguably the most popular show on cable television, and you're going to destroy it. You tried to do it with Resident Alien. The numbers showed ratings were down because you made everybody wait so long for the second part of season 2.
And you're never clear on when it's actually going to start back up.
Right. Yeah, Yellowstone, it just says summer. We don't know what date yet. It'll be on back again on some point in time in the summer.
Yeah, well, guess what? People have lives.
I'm surprised Kevin Costner went with
pitching a fit.
Yeah. Because I know this is his baby. And for him to let the network idiots pull this crap.
Stupid, moronic idea.
So next week, I will have my review of, I guess, the first half of season 5 of Yellowstone, along with the full season 1 of Tulsa King, because the season finale of Tulsa King will air this coming Sunday on Paramount Plus, and then I can get rid of it.
There you go.
But yeah, Doom Patrol is
really good. Rolling right along.
Really doing well. I'm just never would have thought I would say this because I am more of a straightforward action linear story guy, whereas Doom Patrol is more of a weird Vertigo, of course.
Yeah.
The DC
they
imprint.
They kind of go all over the place and shift back and forth.
Not PC at all.
Oh, hell no. That's what makes it so great.
Yep. So much more impressed with Doom Patrol season 4 right now than I have been with Titans.
Oh, Jane. Poor Jane. She can't get no satisfaction.
I like Jane. She's nice.
She's pretty.
Yes. She needs some maestro in her life. Take that hand out of your pants, Jane. Put it in mine. Black Panther. Wakanda for... How about that for a segue?
Wow, there you go.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be on Disney Plus. February the 1st, 2023.
Yeah, still not picking up Disney Plus.
So I can give you the review on that, the latest mediocre Marvel movie that Disney has somehow destroyed. My review for the week is, shockingly, The White Lotus, Season 1. My daughter badgered me into watching this. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago. I had watched the first couple episodes. I actually finished Season 1, and yes, I am watching Season 2. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of mental defect I have. There is something...
You do not have to finish a series.
Let me explain something to you about The White Lotus. Number one, the only reason I watched it was because I fell in love with Alexandria Daddario. She is one of the most beautiful goddamn women in the world. And I just waited for every scene she was in because she is so gorgeous.
And there was an opportunity that maybe...
What, she would jump out of the screen and blow me?
No. No, maybe she would remove her clothes.
Oh, she did. She did early on. But I was hoping for more.
And it never got there.
So, of course, Season 2, there is yet another unbelievably hot woman who plays an Italian prostitute. I don't know her name. I don't care. I don't want to. But she is unbelievably hot as well. So again, I am sucked in to season 2. But here's the thing. Outside of my late middle-age lust, the White Lotus is like a car accident. You cannot look away. You drive by and you are drawn to it. You against your worst, best instincts. You want to see the catastrophe. You want to see the disaster. It's like the two sides, the angel and the devil on your shoulders, telling you, look away, be nice, be respectful. And the other side going, you want to see the blood, you want to see the carnage, you want to see the sex and violence. And that's the feeling that I get from watching The White Lotus. Now, the big problem I have with it is the fact that they've somehow decided to center on the awful, awful actress, Jennifer Coolidge, who, of course,
mom.
played Stifler's mom in American Pie. And somehow she's the only one that is the constant factor. Season 1 took place in Hawaii at that White Lotus resort. Season 2 is in Italy. She
Hence the
somehow
Italian prostitute.
Right. She somehow, Jennifer Coolidge's character, ends up at both. And she's just so irritating and annoying.
So what, is she supposed to be like Mr. Rourke?
She is
from
like
Fantasy
the one,
Island?
she's like the one, continuing thread between the seasons. And she's just awful. She's just a terrible actress, irritating beyond belief. But I get the impression that that's what they want you to feel about the characters in The White Lotus. You basically are waiting to see, are these awful, despicable people going to get their comeuppance? Because both seasons have started with dead bodies, which is, it kind of makes you think initially,
Who's the serial killer?
is this going to be like an Agatha Christie, type mystery? So the first season starts off with one dead body, and you watch all 6 episodes to try to figure out who is the dead body. You don't know. Now they do the second season same way, except multiple dead bodies.
Oh, good grief.
And it's always one person who discovers the dead bodies, so you know that one person will survive, but the rest of them are up for grabs. So in that sense, it's mildly intriguing. But again, just like the residents of the White Lotus, I'm in it for the sex and the nudity.
Well, there you go.
So, season 1, oh God, there were just so many despicable characters and so many people I hated. Again, I'm going to be a very, very obvious contrarian here. As I say, I can't look away. I've started season 2, but I can only give the first season 2 frenzies, because why am I watching a show where I just want everybody to die? But I guess in a way that's the appeal, is I'm waiting to find out which of these scumbags, and they're all scumbags, which of these scumbags ends up dying.
There you go.
And again, Alexandre Daddario, call me Sports Frenzy 2.0. Send me a DM.
Yeah. All right. Well, for this week, I've talked about watching on CBS the American version of Ghosts, which is in its 2nd season. So, over the New Year's holiday, my wife and I decided, let's give the BBC version a try, which started 2 years prior than 2019. Because, Hollywood here in America has no clue how to come up with a new original idea. So, watching the BBC version, very similar storyline. Lady who owns the manor dies. Long lost relative inherits with her husband. They want to turn it into a hotel B&B type thing. Ghosts do not want them there. She has an accident. Lo and behold, she can see and hear them, and all chaos ensues. So, a couple of the characters are similar. Enough differences. I don't know. I like the BBC for a couple of the characters that are just different enough that they're great. It's hysterical. Others, not so much. The American version of them are better. So there's 4 seasons so far on the BBC. We got through the 3rd episode of season 3. So we're going to keep going with it. They're both just different enough that you don't know how exactly it's going to play out between the two. So it's enjoyable enough.
All right,
for
let me
both
ask.
of them.
Let me ask you. Outside of the basic premise, and like you said, a couple of the characters, do they bring the plots over as well, or are the plots completely different?
They're slightly different.
Okay.
They are different.
Okay.
They've had different plot lines, which is a nice change of pace, which makes it nice to watch both of them to see the development and which way everything's going to go. In America, they're trying to do the bed and breakfast, and they're actually there to, in season 2, they have guests coming in. Through season 3 on the BBC, they're pretty much broke and scrambling to do whatever they can, picking up odd jobs to keep going and maintain that they have this place. So, not bad. It's enjoyable. It's a 2.5. So, not phenomenal, but entertaining enough that you can just kill some time with it.
All right, before we move on to our moments of silence and our dumbasses of the week, Dave has shown me up. Dave has taken my wrestling man card, put
And
it under his heel.
shoved it up.
Dave scooped me on a major wrestling headline.
Oh, I do pay attention to things from time to time. Former WWE star Sasha Banks, who walked offset and out of the WWE, has now reemerged in Japan to join their wrestling league as Money Mercedes.
Yep, she is now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I did not hear this. I did not know about this. I'm embarrassed as a wrestling fan that I did not get this news, especially with the ties between New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. So I don't know if she will make an appearance on the next Forbidden Door.
Dope.
But in the end, I am embarrassed. As much as I respect Dave, I put all these hours in watching wrestling, and I get scooped.
It happens.
I think I have to walk away from the weekend edition.
There.
I have failed.
No,
I'm not walking away. God damn it.
You just have to up your game on the wrestling front.
You're the one that tells me I watch too much. And I should be reading more. So I can do a book review a week like you.
Hey, I just stumbled across the story. It was pure chance.
No, I was wondering about Sasha Banks, and I didn't know after she and Naomi stormed out of the WWE headquarters. We still don't know what happened and why that happened, but
We speculated.
Yep.
It was
And again,
Vince's
when I saw
improprieties.
her a couple weeks ago on that awful reality show on USA, Barmageddon, that I was like, well, I figured she was still connected to NBC and Peacock, so that means WWE. But who knows how
No.
long ago that was taped. So, yes, you scooped me. I am forever going to hold my head in shame.
Forever unclean.
Forever unclean. I have been embarrassed. All right, we've got a lot to talk about here when it comes to moments of silence, especially in the world of music.
Good grief. Yeah,
Um,
there was a good little bit.
but of course, the most, I guess you'd say the most important passing of the last week, and I'm torn on this because of what she gave us, the monstrosity, the evil, awful show that it is.
Baba Wawa.
Now, she gave us that, which was awesome. The great Gilda Radner.
Yep. Barbara Walters. Iconic TV news person. Unfortunately, just for longevity and that trademark annoying voice, passed at 93.
Gave us The View. God help me. Gave us The View. And the minute I saw that she passed, I was waiting for it and waiting for it. And then it popped up where Joy Behar talks about all the special moments she had with Barbara Walters. And I was like, Joy Behar is the devil. What are you talking about? Did Barbara Wawa file down your horns once a week? Once you started The View? Hadn't heard anything from Whoopi Goldberg because she was probably
Because
too
why
busy.
would you?
She's probably too busy out telling everybody the Holocaust didn't happen. But
Or trying to make good.
Now I do have one wrestling, going back to your Sasha Banks comment. One wrestling moment of silence for the TNA and Impact Wrestling world. One of their greatest commentators, Don West, passed away here recently. So thoughts and prayers go out to, it's not WWE, it's not AEW, but TNA and Impact have been around for a while. They are not underground, but they are not the minor leagues, but
They're kind of
they have a
second
following.
tier.
Yeah, they have a following.
Yeah.
And most wrestling fans know who Don West is. Thoughts and prayers go out. And again, another person that died a little bit younger than they should have. I believe he was only in his early 50s.
Yeah. So, big loss in music. Anita Pointer, one of the Pointer sisters, has passed away. Very influential through the late 70s, early 80s.
And the same era, Earth, Wind, and Fire drummer Fred White passed away. Again, Earth, Wind, and Fire, of course, unbelievably influential, late 70s, early 80s. And again, I just always go back to the fact that, like with Anita Pointer, with Fred White, Earth, Wind, and Fire, we didn't care back then about black, white, whoever you were. If the music was good, we didn't care if it was rock, pop, R&B, disco, we were into it.
Yep.
And again, I will always say, yes, get off my lawn. Times were better, simpler back then. We got along. We cared about each other's music. We cared about each other in every aspect. And now we are so divided. It makes me sick. So every time somebody from that era passes, I just feel like a piece of me is gone.
Yep, that's a part of history, a part of the culture that is It hurts.
We'll never get back.
Yeah.
I still say it goes back to the early 90s. One final moment of silence before we move on to a couple dumbasses. And this is really, I don't know anything about Modest Mouse. I don't listen to their music. I never have. But when Jeremiah Green, their drummer, one of their founding members, announced he had stage 4 cancer, obviously that's shocking and disturbing. And, immediately your thoughts and prayers go out. He's 45 years old. This terrible thing, it was stage 4. So 3 days later, it comes out he's dead. 3 days later, he dies.
Usually you hear stage 4, you think, all right, 6 to 9 months.
Yeah. No, this was literally about 3 days later from the announcement that he had stage 4 cancer to his death. So thoughts and prayers to the family of Jeremiah Green and the Modest Mouse fans out there.
Yep.
All right, couple dumbasses. Not enough to play Dumbass of the Week here as we wrap up the weekend edition, but these are a couple things that Dave and I talked about a few days ago when we were trying to watch football,
Monday Night Football,
and the bowl games. So he knows what's coming. But these are still a couple excellent examples of how stupid humanity is. Number 1, Time Magazine comes out with an article here over the last week or so where they say exercise has racist roots in white supremacy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know how much more stupid the mass media can be than this. Time Magazine was a well-respected publication when I was growing up.
Yeah, they used to actually research, deep dive. They knew what the hell they were talking about.
What they were supposed to do, what they did,
this
was when a news story broke, they were the ones that were supposed to, like Dave said, go in depth.
The time and actually ferret out the real story and what was going on. This is something you would expect from Weekly World News.
Yeah. The fact that we're even entertaining this idea in one of what America calls its most prestigious news magazine, that exercise is racist and it has its roots in white supremacy, should tell you all you need to know in terms of the end of the world is coming. Because if we're letting idiots like this put stories like this in national publications, we're doomed. We're doomed.
We're screwed.
We're doomed.
Absolute stupidity.
All right, so let's end it with a little bit of a lighter note. Unfortunately, we don't have a Clint Eastwood badass of the week for the entertainment world, which doesn't shock me. But for our final dumbass of the week, a former Grand Slam tennis champion pointed this out. Now, this goes back to March the 14th of 2021. Aired on a rerun recently. So this former tennis champion, not a classic all-time name, just somebody who won one of the Grand Slams.
Yeah.
But saw this and had to put it out on social media. A question on who wants to be a millionaire. I'm going to go ahead and put this out there for you, kids. Let's see if you can get this right. This all-time tennis great won the Australian Open while 8 weeks pregnant. Was it Roger Federer, John McEnroe, Andy Murray, or Serena Williams? Don, 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 don. Jesus Christ!
It had to be the very first question, which they always set up as a gimme. But come on, at least make it believable with female names, even if they're not tennis stars.
Yeah, you could have come up with a couple other female tennis stars to throw in there. Yeah,
Maybe one
you had the
other.
lesbian faction. You could have put Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova in there, right?
Exactly.
Because you know you're not getting pregnant by doing the old 69 with your same gender.
The scissors does not cause.
This is not Billy Crystal and Rabbit Test, people. That's an old school reference for you. I'm sorry. This is. I don't care if the first round of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is supposed to be easy. This is just
stupid.
Stupid, insulting easy.
Yeah. It makes you feel like nobody has a brain
Yeah.
in this world.
Who has a penis and who has a vagina?
I don't know anymore these days.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. God, that's on me for even thinking that could be an easy question nowadays. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
We hope you had fun with the weekend edition.
Yep. Come back next Saturday. Join us for more music, movies, streaming TV.
We will have our top 5 albums of 2022, the mid-season finale of Doom Patrol, my review of Tulsa King Season 1,
and whatever the hell else I come up with.
And for movies, we are going to review Glass Onion.
I think, yes, it is time for the Glass Onion.
A Knives Out mystery. In coming weeks, we will also review The Pale Blue Eye on Netflix with Christian Bale and The Menu on HBO Max with Ralph Fiennes. So we got plenty to discuss in the coming weeks. Of course, Dave will have 47 book reviews.
I might have a couple.
I think I might jump in here with the latest Jack Reacher at some point soon.
Oh, yeah, No Plan B.
Yeah, which you read like 70 months ago.
It's been a while.
Shut up, Dave!
And on that note, good night.